Hello gamers and welcome to the beginner's guide of Minion Masters. We're going to be covering all the basics of the game today, so it's perfect for new and prospective players alike. Minion Masters is a strategy game in an esports presentation, and while it is a free-to-play game with microtransactions, I would not call it pay-to-win, as all upgrades can be worked for within the game, and there's no excessive, expensive upgrading of cards. It can be found on Steam or Xbox and requires an internet connection to play, as it is primarily a multiplayer game. First, let's cover the basics. Minion Masters happens in a 1 vs 1 or 2 vs 2 battle arena format, where each hero has a tower to defend and there are 2 neutral bridges that each hero can possess throughout the match. Mana will regenerate throughout the battle at the following rates. Every time you wish to play a card on the battlefield, it will take mana from your mana pool and you will cap out at 10 on your regeneration. So it's important to continue to play cards throughout the match so that you don't lose mana. Each card has a distinct way in which it interacts with the battlefield, and typically you will only be able to play cards on your side of the battle arena. However, certain cards, primarily spells, will be allowed to be played throughout the battlefield. Let's take a quick look at the exchange between the two players. It should be noted that each hero starts with 3,000 health, and the game ends when one hero reaches 0. As the match goes on, each hero will passively gain 1 experience point every 4 seconds, in addition to 1 experience point every 4 seconds for each bridge that they control. This is important because as heroes gain experience points, they'll level up, and as they level up, they get new perks which will make them stronger, giving an advantage over an opponent. Bridges will change possession depending on which hero had a minion touch the bridge last. Every time a card is played, it is placed at the bottom of your deck and it will reappear in the order in which it was played. This process is known as cycling, and it is one of the key features to your battle in Minion Masters. Cycling is going to allow you to put cards together that have good synergies on the battlefield, as well as help you properly counter your opponent's cards that they're playing against you. It's also important to pay attention to your opponent's cycle so that you know which cards to save to defend against their threats. As the match goes on, you're going to need to adjust in order to come up with the correct combination of cards to defend against them. The advantage to this is that you can send offense the other way and create favorable positions for yourself throughout the battle. Let's take a quick look at the battle go on and see how we respond to each other's cycles. As the match goes on, the intensity goes up. Mana regeneration continues to increase, and the perks from each hero continue to make the battle a little bit more complex. Large clumps of minions will sometimes build up on the battlefield, changing the way that you're going to need to deal the threats once again. It's important to not lose your focus during this time, because this is when plans start to get the most aggressive and you start seeing opportunities to strike. Right here, we can see there's a lot going on both sides of the battlefield, and I've seen that my opponent has put down a lot of things all at once. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to go for their tower, and I put down my rammer as well as send a fireball to the tower. I knew that they had some minions coming my way, but this was an opportunity to get the damage in before they could for the victory. After battle rewards include gold, profile EXP, and battle rank, in addition to battle pass experience points, which are all calculated through a system called glory. We'll be getting into glory in more depth later, but understand that it's important to leveling up your battle pass quicker and getting better rewards sooner. Now that we're out of battle, let's take a look at the home screen. Think of this as your out-of-battle hub for everything you would want to do in Minion Masters. Here's a look at some of its different functions. Let's take a look at the Masters and Cosmetics screen. Each account will come with one free master, as well as 2 free rotating masters each week. The rest of the masters will need to be purchased in the shop or with an account upgrade. The emojis, arenas, and emotes can also be found in this screen, and you can use those once they've been purchased through the shop. Quest rewards can be collected in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and those rewards can be used to purchase in-game things such as power tokens that can be used to get you new cards for the game. Next, we're going to step into the Power Token Tower and show how that works. There's a variety of different power tokens that you can get, ranging from a daily free token to a season token and a regular power token. Each one of these will give you access to different types of spins and get a different look at the rates and odds that you'll have for those. One of the important things to note is that shards will also be given to you, which will give you control over the cards that you can upgrade. Every 5th spin will result in a rare token spin where your odds will increase, thus giving you a better chance to upgrade your cards quicker. This is true for both of the free spin and regular power tokens. Next, let's take a look at the deck builder. There are over 150 cards in Minion Masters, and it's going to take you some time to collect all of those. Once you do, however, there's no need to upgrade a card further to get more power. You will, however, be able to upgrade those cards to get yourself more glory to level up your battle pass faster. When you go into the crafting screen, you'll be able to craft any card that you want for the cost of shards that it tells you. Once you've purchased that card, you'll be able to purchase additional wild card slots. Next up, let's take a look at the crafting screen. This is where you can use shards to purchase cards as well as promote them. It should be noted that promoting a card doesn't increase its strength, it just adds cosmetic improvements. Additionally, you can promote a card to get a wild card slot. This will allow you to play a card more than one time in your deck. Let's take a look at this mechanic right now. Normally, you'll only be able to add 1 of a card into your deck. However, with wild cards, you'll be able to add up to 3. It should be noted, though, that wild cards will not produce any glory at the end of battle. Next, let's take a look at the shop. The shop is where you're going to be spending your rubies and your coins in between battles. At this time, the Battle Pass is considered the most efficient usage of your rubies if you wish to progress your account. We also recommend specific legendary and supreme card bundles that you need and cosmetics that you want. It's not recommended to spend your rubies on Battle Pass tiers or season tokens and bundles of cards that are random. It is recommended that you spend your coins on power tokens, but rubies are not considered an efficient usage of them, although they will fill out your collection faster. You will be able to purchase additional masters, although it should be noted that there is an account upgrade that will give you all of the masters, and it is highly recommended. Take a look at some of the other account upgrades that you can get, as well as the rubies section for the different values of the cards. You can also redeem codes that are given to you out of the game in the shop as well. Now that we've had a chance to look around a little bit, it's time to build a deck. One of the things that you want to consider when you're building a deck is the variety of ways that your opponent can attack you and how you're going to deal with it. In this case, we're going to be playing a 2 versus 2 match, so we know we're going to have another player on our team, and we're not going to want to get too gimmicky with what we're doing. Our goal here is to create a balanced attack between low and medium and high cost units and have a variety of ways to attack our opponent. Here we're using some ground units, some swarm units, some spells, some flyers, and some tanks, as well as buildings in order to deal with the variety of ways our opponent will be attacking us. Our largest units in this deck are the Untitled Chapter and the Cleaver. The Untitled Chapter is going to be great for dealing with ground units and swarms, and our Cleaver is going to be one of our win conditions. This card is big and powerful, however it's very weak to swarms, so we'll be looking for opportune times to hit our opponent with it. One of the nice things about this deck is because it's very middle of the road, it'll be able to cover a lot of different threats. It will also work with pretty much anything our teammate brings to battle. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now that we found a match, let's take a look at the keys to victory. One of the most important things in Minion Masters is being able to effectively use the cards in your deck to be able to attack your opponent. There's going to be a lot of different ways and strategies to do that, so you're going to have to try a lot of different things to see what works for you. Here early you can see they went for the bridges right away, and we decided to go on the defensive and counter that, which brings us to one of our first points. You're going to want to pay attention to the cards they're playing and play the correct counters, but also look for positive mana transfers. This means that you're going to be spending less mana to deal with their threats. This is going to help you build a mana advantage throughout the match, and eventually you're going to end up with large amounts of mana more than your opponents. This is going to leave you to favorable positions that are going to be a big part of you getting victory. Over on the north side of the battlefield, right next to our tower, my teammate has placed down a building. This particular building spawns crossbow dudes continuously, and it can help you build up a large swarm of minions on the battlefield. Buildings are just one of the ways that you can attack your opponent, but they can have their drawbacks as well. For example, buildings can be countered easily, and they can also have direct damage done to them, which can cause a negative mana transaction for you. One thing that you're going to want to pay attention to in battles is that your tower can be a resource. Here we're using the tower to tank a little bit so we can create a positive mana exchange for ourselves. We can use less mana to clean up the threat and then send more mana toward our offense going the other direction. Once we notice that they've overextended a little bit, we're going to want to try and attack our opponent. Here, you can see the opponent has played a lot of minions, so we're going to strike when the opponent is low on mana. Now we have a large group of minions that are going right for their tower, and we're going to take advantage of this. This is a great time to queue up a spell as well, because there'll be lots of minions crowded up in one area, and you can take advantage. Because we were able to overrun them, we were able to get the victory. These are just a couple of tips for battle, and there's going to be a lot of different ways to attack your opponent and things to see in battle. The only way to do that is through experience, so it's going to take a lot of battles in order to get all the different counters right. Here you can see we're completing our battle chest, and we're getting a lot of additional glory, which will help you get battle pass tiers. As mentioned before, the battle pass has both free and paid for versions of it, and it's going to be one of your fastest ways to get rewards throughout the game. Thank you again for watching our video. I hope you found this very informative. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thanks again for watching.